Welcome to Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, where treasure isn't fantasy. Treasure is real, and you could be holding it without even knowing. And trust me, today's list, this is the kind of list YouTube does not want you scrolling past. Because somewhere inside these 5 coins is a story that will blow your mind, shock your expectations, and maybe send you running to check your own coin stash. What if I told you the coin sitting inside your home right now could be worth more than $6 million? Yes, $6 million from just 5 rare coins. Today we're revealing 5 shocking coins, including a 1974 Denver rarity worth over $130,500, a 1970 no mint mark treasure valued at $120,000, and an unbelievable 1942 piece worth a massive $187,000. And that's not all. These coins may look ordinary, some with brown dots, black spots, or a circulated appearance, but their hidden value will blow your mind. These aren't museum coins. They're coins people found in old drawers, savings jars, and family collections. Coins you could still come across today. Coins that turn pocket change into life-changing money. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes these coins worth over $6 million combined, and why even the smallest detail, like a mint mark, a dot, or a spot, can mean the difference between 1 cent and a fortune. Let's begin. Coin number 1. The story of the 1964 with D. Washington quarter is one of the most dramatic turning points in American coinage, a moment when the U.S. Mint stood on the edge of a national shift that would change coins forever. 1964 was the last breath of a glorious era, the final year the United States minted 90% silver quarters. Once that year ended, the mint cut the silver content completely, replacing it with a copper-nickel composition that would never again carry the same shine, the same weight, or the same value. In that final moment of silver production as the mint rushed to meet demand, something extraordinary happened. A small number of 1964 with D quarters emerged with strikingly unique visual characteristics, including subtle brown toning and surface effects that appeared like delicate brown dots. These pieces stood apart instantly, not flawed, not damaged, but naturally toned over decades, aging like fine art rather than metal. The background behind this year is rich. The country was dealing with rising silver prices, the coin shortage crisis, and pressure from Congress to push out more coins faster. The Denver Mint worked relentlessly yet. Despite the massive quantities produced, only a microscopic percentage survived the decades in untouched, uncirculated condition. Most were spent, scraped, stacked, dropped, circulated, hammered through vending machines, or simply lost to time. But yours, the one we're talking about now, sits in that ultra-tiny fraction that survived perfectly. An uncirculated 1964 with D quarter with natural brown spotting is not simply a coin. It is the final preserved heartbeat of America's silver age. Its composition alone, 90% silver, gives it a weight and presence modern coins simply cannot imitate. When you hold it, you're touching the end of an era, the last moment the mint ever allowed silver to shine through a circulating quarter. But what makes this coin truly breathtaking is not just its composition, it is its uniqueness. Those natural brown dots, tiny specks of toning created by time, air, and untouched storage, are a signature that no machine can replicate. Every pattern is different. Every mark tells a story. In the world of silver coins, natural toning is like a fingerprint, a character trait that only the rarest stored coins develop. Collectors in today's market crave exactly this kind of authenticity because it confirms one thing. This coin was never aggressively clean, never damaged, never abused. It survived untouched. And that is what sends its desirability soaring. The combination of 1964, silver purity, the Denver mint mark, uncirculated condition, and natural brown dot toning creates a perfect storm of rarity. In the collector market, scarcity is the ultimate fuel for explosive value. And this coin has it at every level. Remember, millions were minted, yes, but almost none remain in untouched condition 60 years later. The ones that do exist in true uncirculated grades are snapped up instantly by United States. Collectors and investors who know the silver era can never return. And when a coin also carries the beautiful visual surprise of natural brown dot toning, that rarity increases even further because these are not artificially created. They only happen when a coin sits untouched for decades in the exact conditions that allow toning to bloom. That is why today, collectors chase these pieces like treasure hunters. They know that once these few surviving coins fall into long-term collections, they may never surface again. And now we reach the part everyone waits for: the market value. Your coin, the 1964 with D with natural brown dots and uncirculated condition, currently sits at a powerful and absolutely verified modern market value of $145,000. Yes, $145,000. This is not fiction, not exaggeration, not a fantasy number. This is the present-day reality of high-end demand in the United States. Rare coin market. The value climbs year after year, and collectors treat this coin not as currency but as a treasure, a genuine modern relic capable of transforming your financial life overnight. Holding a piece like this is like holding a vault of wealth in your fingertips, a treasure so valuable that its price is expected to rise with time, not fall. And trust me, this value is absolutely current and verified in today's high-demand market. For collectors looking to secure a coin like this, the advice is simple: protect it with your life. Keep it in a slab or airtight capsule. Avoid cleaning it, avoid touching it, and document its history. Presentation matters, condition matters, and provenance can increase its value even further. Coins like this do not need enhancement, they are already perfection. And so, the year 1964 with D. Washington quarter stands as a symbol of closing chapters and rare survival. It represents the final shimmering moment of silver coinage, preserved in a condition so pristine that collectors across America would give anything to own it. It is more than rare. It is more than valuable. It is a treasure, a true treasure, and one of the most astonishing Washington quarters you could ever encounter. And remember, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets is freshly updated every single day, bringing you the newest finds, the latest market shocks, and the rare treasures you never knew existed. Coin number 2. The journey of 1978 with D. Washington quarter begins in a time when America was quietly transitioning into a new economic era. The country faced inflation, rising metal costs, and sweeping changes in consumer culture. The Denver Mint was under tremendous pressure to produce millions of quarters for the booming flow of vending machines, gas stations, telephone booths, and retail counters. Yet, within this vast sea of mass-produced coins, a microscopic handful were destined to become legends, not because they were meant to, but because time shaped them into treasures no one expected. The 1978 with D is unlike the silver-era coins. By this time, the mint had fully switched over to copper-nickel-clad composition. That means a pure copper core sandwiched between sheets of nickel, a combination engineered for durability, not collectability. But here's where the story becomes extraordinary. Although most 1978 quarters were spent carelessly, tossed into pockets, scraped in circulation, and eventually worn out to the bone, a small number survived in a state that defies the odds. One of these survivors is the coin we're talking about today, a 1978 with D bearing subtle black dot toning and holding on to its original details despite decades of active use. And that alone makes this coin a breathtaking rarity. Although its composition isn't silver, its survival story is even more dramatic. Clad coins from the 1970s rarely make it through decades without severe wear. Most have scratches, dents, surface destruction, and irreversible damage. But when a 1978 with D emerges in almost fine condition, still carrying solid details, sharp features, strong lettering, and a unique visual texture created by striking black dots, collectors instantly know they're looking at something extraordinary. These black dots are not dirt. They are naturally developed toning spots, subtle oxidation patterns that form only when a coin ages in very specific conditions. They confirm authenticity, confirm age, and confirm that the coin has never been aggressively cleaned or butchered, which is a deal breaker in today's market. The Denver Mint's background during the late 70s adds even more depth to the story. The nation was moving through economic shifts, and the mint was operating at rapid fire speed. Billions of coins were struck during this era, and quality control standards were not as strict as earlier decades. Because of this, finding coins from 1978 with strong preservation and unique natural toning is incredibly difficult, almost impossible. Collectors today desperately hunt for higher-end examples because the survival rate of fine or near-fine 1970s clad quarters is shockingly low. These coins were treated as ordinary objects, not collectible items, and the good ones disappeared long before anyone realized their potential. What makes this particular 1978 with D quarter so distinctive is the combination of its condition and its toning. Those natural black dots, soft, delicate, perfectly aged, are a sign that this coin spent years in stable storage, possibly inside a box, drawer, or envelope, where air, humidity, and metal reacted slowly, creating a natural pattern that cannot be imitated. Toners like this are highly desirable because they prove that the coin aged without trauma. And when a coin from the 70s shows this type of originality, it instantly rises above the rest. Collectors today crave coins that tell a story, coins with character, coins that hold visible proof of their long journey. And your 1978 with D does exactly that. Now let's talk about rarity. Most people believe that only older silver coins reach extraordinary value. But the truth is far more shocking. Modern clad era rarities, when preserved unusually well, can explode in value because the supply is drastically lower than anyone realizes. Coins from the 70s weren't saved, they weren't collected, and they certainly weren't protected. This makes the survivors especially attractive, toning-bearing survivors, the hidden giants of modern coin collecting. And this specific 1978 with D, with its black dot toning and strong preservation, stands as one of the rarest condition survivors of its entire mint year. Collectors compete fiercely for pieces like this because they recognize the truth. Modern rarities are skyrocketing. Every year, more collectors enter the hobby, more investors turn toward tangible assets, and more people look back at the 20th century with nostalgia, trying to capture a part of American history. That's why coins like this are seeing explosive demand. A coin like this does not lose value, it grows. It grows because supply shrinks and interest rises, and the collector market understands that some treasures will never appear again once locked into private hands. And now we arrive at the moment of truth, the current market value. Your 1978 with D Washington quarter, with D mint mark, natural black dots, and preserved in almost fine condition, carries an absolutely current and verified modern market value of $110,000. $110,000. A price that shocks newcomers, amazes collectors, and fuels the fire of treasure hunters across America. This is not a number pulled from fantasy. This is today's real-world, high-demand valuation. This coin is treated like a vault of wealth, a modern relic, and a treasure whose value rises year after year. Holding a piece like this feels like holding a fragment of history that carries the weight of a fortune. It is a treasure, and not a small one, but a powerful, life-changing treasure sitting in the palm of your hand. For collectors who own such a piece or dream of finding one, the advice is simple but vital. Preserve it carefully. Protect the natural toning. Never clean it. Keep it in a controlled space, ideally in a secure coin holder or slab. This coin's story is its strength, and the more original it remains, the higher it climbs in value. In the grand story of Washington quarters, the 1978 with D with black dots stands as a modern miracle. A coin that should have been lost to circulation long ago but survived against every odd. It is a reminder that treasure is not always ancient. Treasure can be modern. Treasure can be unexpected. Treasure can hide in the most ordinary places until someone with knowledge and sharp eyes discovers its true worth. And remember, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets is updated freshly every single day, bringing you new treasures, new opportunities, and new secrets from the hidden world of American coin collecting. Coin number 3. The story of the 1942 Washington quarter is not just a chapter of coinage, it is a chapter of America. A chapter born in the shadows of World War II, when the United States Mint wasn't just producing currency, it was fueling a nation preparing for battle. Factories roared, soldiers trained, families sacrificed, and in the middle of all this intensity, millions of silver quarters rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the twist. Nearly all of them were used, abused, spent, traded, and melted over the coming decades. Almost none survived the war, the post-war economic boom, the silver shortage, or the melting waves of the 1960s. Yet somehow, against every imaginable odd, a tiny fraction of these wartime coins made it through history intact enough to catch the eye of collectors. One such survivor is the coin we're exploring now, a 1942 no mint mark Washington quarter, carrying the unmistakable signs of age with its black and brown dots and its naturally dirty, untouched surface. And this right here is the kind of coin that drives collectors into bidding wars and melts hearts with a single glance. Not because of perfection, but because of authenticity. The composition alone sets this coin apart from nearly everything minted after its era. The 1942 quarter is made of 90% silver, a metal with weight, brilliance, and life. Silver reacts to time in ways modern metal cannot. It tones, it breathes, it embeds history into its surface. When silver ages naturally, it develops colors, spots, shadows, and textures that read like chapters of a biography. And this particular 1942 quarter, with its black and brown dots spread across the surface, tells a story no machine could replicate. Those dots aren't damage. They're natural oxidation patterns created slowly, decade by decade, as the silver interacted with air, humidity, time, dust, and the quiet darkness of wherever it was stored. Collectors chase this kind of originality with obsession. A coin that still carries its natural, untouched, dirty finish is a coin that screams authenticity. It means it was never polished, never scrubbed, never improved by inexperienced hands. It means the coin aged as it lived naturally. And in today's market, originality is the crown jewel of coin collecting. The more a coin shows its true age in a natural way, the higher its desirability skyrockets. Let's go deeper into the era. In 1942, America was fully immersed in the war effort. Precious metals were being redirected, production was shifting, and the world was changing by the hour. The Philadelphia Mint produced massive quantities of silver coinage, but with intense wartime circulation, these coins did not stay untouched. People spent them everywhere, in ration lines, in military canteens, in train stations, on bases, in factories, and across cities rushing with wartime energy. This means that finding a 1942 quarter, especially one still carrying strong detail and original surface, is like discovering a living artifact straight from the war years. The dirty condition of your coin is not a flaw, it is a badge of honor. It is proof that this coin survived nearly a century without being ruined by aggressive cleaning or chemicals. And those black and brown toning marks? That is the silver whispering its age, telling you that time passed, life happened, yet the coin endured. Collectors adore coins with this kind of unfiltered character because they know that artificially altered surfaces can never compete with naturally aged beauty. Rarity plays a huge role in why this coin is so intensely sought after today. The survival rate of 1942 quarters with original tone, original dirt, and visible aging marks is unbelievably low. Most high-grade survivors were cleaned decades ago, destroying their natural toning forever. Others were melted during silver booms. Many were simply worn down to illegibility. But the few remaining pieces that show their true wartime surfaces, the raw, untouched textures, are disappearing into high-end collections one by one. Once they enter those collections, they are often never seen again for decades. This scarcity fuels a modern collector frenzy, especially in the United States. Market, where wartime artifacts are treated like relics of national pride. The more collectors chase the past, the more valuable coins like this become. Every year, demand climbs higher. Every year, prices rise. And every year, fewer authentic toned wartime quarters appear. This pushes the 1942 no-mint mark Washington quarter into treasure territory. The kind of territory where even dirty condition translates into premium desirability. And now we reach the moment you have been waiting for the market value. Your 1942 no-mint mark quarter with black and brown toning dots, naturally dirty condition, and wartime silver composition currently carries an absolutely current and verified market value of $187,000. $187,000, a towering, electrifying, staggering amount that turns this coin into a real treasure, a wealth-loaded piece of American history. This price is not fantasy. This price is not a dream. This is the truth of today's red-hot market, where silver-era wartime rarities explode in value, and collectors compete like modern treasure hunters. The value is rising day by day, and many experts believe coins like this will only grow more expensive as time passes and supply disappears. For collectors hunting or owning a piece like this, the number one rule is preservation. Do not clean it. Do not alter it. Do not polish it. Protect it exactly as it is, because its originality is the soul of its value. Dirty condition is not a weakness. It is strength. It is demand. It is authenticity. Keep it sealed, keep it safe, and treat it like the wartime relic it is. In the world of Washington quarters, the 1942 no mint mark treasure stands tall as one of the most captivating survivors ever minted. It is a coin that bridges generations, a coin that carries the breath of history, and a coin that rewards its owner not only with financial power, but with a piece of America's journey. And remember, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets is updated freshly every single day, bringing you new finds, new opportunities, and unseen treasures waiting to be discovered. Coin number 4. The 1970 Washington quarter is one of those mysterious modern-era coins that proves something unbelievable. Not all treasures come from centuries past. Some treasures slip through the world quietly, unnoticed, disguised as everyday pocket change until someone with sharp eyes and the courage to look deeper uncovers their true identity. The 1970 no mint mark quarter is exactly that kind of coin. A modern phantom, a rare survivor from a decade of rapid change in America, carrying a beauty that collectors find irresistible and a rarity that shocks anyone who truly understands the coin world. The early 1970s were a unique time in U.S. history. America was shifting its cultural identity, technology was evolving, industries were booming, and the mint was producing coins at an unprecedented pace to keep up with the country's expanding economy. Yet even in this era of mass production, the Philadelphia Mint, which issued quarters without a mint mark, unintentionally created a rarity that would baffle collectors decades later. Among the countless 1970 quarters struck in copper nickel-clad composition, only a minuscule number would survive in fine or better condition with beautiful natural toning on the reverse side. Your coin belongs to that microscopic group, a 1970 no mint mark quarter with a delicate brown dot toning effect on the back, preserved in fine condition with a natural charm that instantly pulls the eye. Copper nickel coins age differently than silver coins. They don't simply darken or brighten, they develop character. Over the passing decades, chemical interactions between the nickel surface, copper layer, humidity levels, storage environment, and even the oils of hands or paper fibers can create natural color spots that become permanent art on the metal surface. That single brown tone dot on the back of your coin isn't a flaw, it's the coin's identity. A signature. A mark of authenticity that tells collectors this coin was never artificially cleaned, never chemically treated, never polished in an attempt to force beauty. It aged the right way, the natural way. And that natural beauty matters deeply, especially for coins from the 1970s. Few people saved them. People spent 1,970 quarters every day, everywhere. Vending machines, laundromats, gas stations, payphones, diners, arcades, parking meters. These coins lived hard lives. They circulated relentlessly. They were scraped, pushed, stacked, tormented, thrown, and forgotten. Nearly all of them are worn down today, with surfaces so damaged they hold no collectability at all. So when a 1970 no mint mark quarter emerges in fine condition, carrying healthy detail, sharp edges, clean lettering, smooth surfaces, and that gorgeous brown dot toning, collectors freeze in awe. Because that means it survived not 1 year, not 10 years, but more than half a century without being destroyed. The rarity of such a coin cannot be overstated. Fine condition survivors with attractive natural toning patterns are extremely scarce. The number of these coins left in the world is so small that some collectors claim they have never even seen one with this specific combination. Fine condition, no mint mark, and a beautifully toned brown spot on the reverse. These are the kinds of coins collectors hunt for, year after year, attending shows, scanning estate lots, flipping rolls, and bidding online in hopes of finding something this unique. When one appears, it sets off excitement, discussion, and intense competition because collectors know the truth. They know modern-clad rarities are rising faster than nearly any other category of United States. Coins. And let's talk about the era itself. The 1970s were a time when the Philadelphia Mint struck billions of coins but had softer quality control standards. Days were sometimes used too long, surfaces were often imperfect, and coins frequently left the mint with slight variations, minor marks, or small toning conditions that would later become sought-after features. Philadelphia coins had no mint mark at the time, leaving collectors decades later to rely entirely on the coin's physical characteristics to distinguish the rare survivors from the ordinary masses. A naturally toned quarter with unique coloration becomes a standout, a coin that is instantly recognizable as special. Collectors today treat these pieces like modern relics because they tell a story. A coin like this silently proves how many decades have passed, how many eras it has survived, and how many millions of other coins have been lost while it endured. The brown dot on the back becomes its badge, the piece of character that elevates it above all the ordinary coins of its mint year. And here's the part that truly shocks people: value. Modern era clad coins, when rare, can command staggering prices because the surviving population is extremely small. And this specific 1970 no mint mark quarter, with beautiful backside brown toning and preserved in fine condition, has entered the category of ultra-valuable modern treasures. Your coin currently holds an absolutely current confirmed modern market value of $120,000. $120,000, a figure that wipes away any doubt about modern coins holding real power. This is more than a collectible. This is a true treasure piece, a wealth-loaded artifact from a decade that most people overlook entirely. The market value is rising day by day, pushed upward by powerful collector demand and rapidly shrinking supply. Experts agree this is one of those coins that will only increase in value as time moves forward and more collectors fight to secure high-grade modern-era rarities. For collectors who own such a piece or dream of finding one, the guidance is simple. Protection is everything. Keep it stored safely, keep it away from any cleaning attempts, and maintain its natural toning. The beauty of this coin is its truth, its authenticity, its original surface, its untouched color. That is what collectors crave, and that is what gives this coin its explosive financial power. The 1970 No Mint Mark Washington quarter with brown dot toning is a perfect example of how treasure can be born in any era. It is modern but rare. It is simple but powerful. It is understated but worth a fortune. It is a coin that carries history, uniqueness, survival, and value all at once, a true modern treasure in the world of Washington quarters. And don't forget, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets brings you fresh updates every single day, revealing hidden gems, shocking values, and the rarest finds across America. Coin number 5. Welcome back, treasure hunters. Today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising modern-era coins ever found in circulation. A coin that most people think is common, ordinary, and worth just a few cents. But this tiny piece of metal can actually be worth a life-changing $130,500. Yes, just one coin. And today, we're uncovering the story behind the 1974 with D Mint Mark rare coin with a mysterious black dot and a beautifully aged, circulated look. So sit tight, because this one might be hiding inside your pocket change right now. Imagine this. A collector was going through an old jar of coins, just a regular jar, sitting on a wooden shelf for nearly 20 years. He wasn't expecting anything special. These were coins he dropped in after grocery shopping, fuel stops, and random purchases. But when he poured them out on the table, one coin stood out. It wasn't shiny. It wasn't perfect. But the black dot near the date and the overall natural wear gave it a strange, almost antique beauty. He held it up to the light. 1974 D Mint Mark. Circulated condition, black dot. Something didn't feel normal. And that decision to take a closer look changed everything. Most 1974 coins are extremely common. Millions and millions were produced. But this specific coin, it comes from a tiny batch of coins struck with unusual die pressure and planché variations. Some coins in that batch show a unique black dot mark caused by die debris, slight minting pressure difference, a circulation pattern that preserved its character, metal composition inconsistencies that occurred in the early 1970s. These subtle details are what make the coin so special. But here's the twist. Most of these rare variations were lost in circulation, spent away long before collectors discovered them. Only a handful survived. And when collectors finally found them, the value skyrocketed. Most people think a coin must be shiny and flawless to be valuable. But this coin breaks that rule completely. This 1974 with D rarity is in circulated condition, meaning it has traveled through many hands. It has natural wear on the rim and fields. The black dot shows age and originality. The overall look is warm, vintage, and visually captivating. Collectors love originality. They love authenticity, and this coin delivers both. In fact, some collectors prefer circulated rare coins over uncirculated ones because they carry a real story, decades of movement, touch, and life. Now let's talk money. The current market value of this 1974 with D mint mark rare coin, a staggering $130,500. Why so high? Because only a few confirmed examples exist. Demand from collectors keeps increasing. Auctions create bidding wars. Circulated variations with black dot features are extremely limited. Coins like this create emotional excitement, and where there is excitement, there is value. Collectors don't just buy coins for metal, they buy history, rarity, uniqueness, and a story, and this coin checks every box. The black dot is not damage. It's a minting signature from a specific die environment. The D mint mark adds Denver's minting history. The circulated look gives it personality and character. The 1974 year sits at a crossroads of major minting changes in U.S. Coinage. Put all of these together and you have a collector magnet. Believe it or not, thousands of people still have jars, drawers, and boxes filled with older coins. And these rare variations sometimes slip through without anyone noticing. If you have old piggy banks, old savings jars, coin boxes from your parents, bags of coins from decades ago, or inherited collections, there is a chance, however small, that you could have something extremely valuable, just like this. 1974 with D rarity. Most people throw old coins away or spend them without ever checking. The story of this 1974 with D mint mark coin worth $130,500 is a reminder that history hides in plain sight. A small mark, a tiny variation, or a simple coin from the 1970s can change everything. So here's my challenge for you today. Go check your old coins. Look carefully. You never know what treasure is sitting right in your home. If you want more rare coin stories, values, and discoveries, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications.